How's it going, everyone? My name is SystemZee, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to build this cabin in Starbound. The first thing to do whenever building in any game is to make sure that you have all of your resources ready. In this case, we are going to be using the thatch block, which can be made from plant fiber, the cobblestone brick, which obviously can be made from cobblestone, the wooden logs, which can be retrieved from chopping down wood, or, well, trees. Treated wood, which can pretty much be crafted from wooden logs, or maybe it's timber, I'm not entirely sure. And timber, of course, from the logs. So these are all very basic, materials that you can get very early in the game. So this is the perfect starter house. But let's go ahead and get started by holding Shift and right-clicking to place, back blocks. And we're going to basically place about 6. And actually, I'm going to take that one away. I'm going to place one log there first. So this is where one of our doors are going to go. And basically, what you're going to want to do in any situation when building is make sure that your surrounding area is cleaned up. As you can tell here, I've really cleaned up this area and chosen a very nice spot. But this wasn't, this smooth before. I definitely had to clean this area up quite a bit. So make sure that you do that beforehand so that the building process is smooth. Anyways, what you're going to want to do is hold Shift and right click to place the back block with the treated wood. And you're going to place 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And the door will fit perfectly there. Then you're going to want to put one more behind there and put one log on top. So that is where our door is going to go. This is going to be the front door. The next thing to do is place about 3 more going up. So just like that. And then place a log on the back, and then, actually, you know what, let's take that away, and then we'll do a log just like that. And then one more thing, we're going to put one log that way, just like that. So this is kind of an odd design, but basically the treated logs, or treated wood on the back, so along the back, and then logs basically on the bottom and top of where the door will go. 2 space blocks in between, and then the logs going horizontal again on the back, and then one on the front, just like that. The next thing we're going to do is get our log blocks here, and we're going to basically place 10 blocks away from this starting place, just right here. So pretty much, 1 block away from everything we've already done, starting right here, we're going to count 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just like that. The next thing we're going to do is place one more on the side there and place a log. So just like that. Basically 11 blocks in between from this outside block. So you're going to go ahead and repeat that on the other side. Just like that. So 11 blocks in between, 10 if you're only counting what will be inside the walls. So just like that. The next thing you're going to do is pretty much repeat what you've done over here. So get your treated wood and go all the way down to the bottom, just like that. Get one log for the bottom of the door, and then 5 blocks up, you'll do one for the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right there. And that is pretty much the outside, foundation of our structure here. And then we're going to put one beam right down in the middle. Now, I really recommend that you use beams whenever you can, because they make a build look, correct and kind of full, and it really adds to the overall design. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and fill in the blocks over here using our cobblestone. So just like that, basically the top blocks. We're also going to use this for the back, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I would like the light coming in and not have it too dark, if you know what I mean. And the next thing we're going to do is get our timber blocks and just place one right on top of those. Followed by these platforms here to create basically like an attic. It's just something kind of like a storage space. This isn't really a big house because this is a starter house. And to get up there, because it is a little too high to jump, unless the gravity on your planet is a little bit, lower than normal, you're going to want to get some stairs or maybe make a ladder or even get a rope so that you can access the top. And don't worry about this bottom layer here, because we're going to go ahead and get our timber here and basically create the floor. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and work on the top. Again, I'm not going to do any of the back, so that way we have light shining in from the back and it's not too dark. But what we're going to do is get our thatch blocks, and we're going to create just a general pattern for a cabin. And again, thatch blocks are very easy to make. They're very cheap. You just get plant fiber and you can make them at the workbench. But what you're going to want to do is hold Shift and then click on this area and just basically make 2 blocks and do that on the same for the other side, basically just like that. followed by 3 right above that. So you're going to do that design. And from then on, you're going to use 3 blocks, and then on the very last one, go up 1, just like that. Alright, there we go. The next thing we're going to do is get our logs and just place them on every end, just like this. This really adds to the overall support of the build and just makes it look complete. Alright, so while we're up here, we may as well go ahead and work on the back wall design. So what we're going to do is get our treated wood and just continue the beam in the middle all the way up. And basically just come up with a design that you really like. Now the one I'm going to show you is really good for these cabin styles. Basically you're going to get your logs, hold right click and just drag them all the way across, just like that. Kind of makes it look like horizontal beams. And to separate them, we're going to get our timber and do the same thing just in the other spaces. Just like that. I feel like that really looks like a cabin, and it's very clean and overall just looks really nice. The next thing we're going to do is get our cobblestone and go along the bottom walls just like this. Now this is a material that I'm using. You do not have to use this. If you just want to use pure cobblestone, you can do that as well. It really doesn't matter. It's all up to you. Now I'm not going to go over interior in this build just because that is an entirely other tutorial on its own. So you can really put windows wherever you want, but if you'd like to see a tutorial version of this house with interior, please let me know and I'd be happy to do it. To finish it off, go ahead and place your doors on the outside just like that. And the next thing we're going to work on is the outside porch area. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out which direction you want the porch going. In this case, we're going to use this direction. So go ahead and make room for the porch by chopping down any obstacles that are in the way and would keep you from building. So in this case, this tree, which I really like the placement of that tree, but it's got to go. Alright, so this design for the porch is something that I really like. I think it fits really well with this build, but it is going to be structurally different than the actual cabin. It's going to be kind of, spaced differently. Instead of using 10 blocks across, we're going to use 5, and it's going to be 1 block higher. And we're going to start by placing a log right there. And then we're going to do a back log right behind it, followed by 5 blocks from that specific log. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that, and then 1 more, place the log, and do another set right here. So just like that, and finish it off with 1 more on the side, just like that. And you're going to do the same thing all the way across with this particular block. Just kind of bring it all the way across like that. Don't worry about the logs. And then separate, the 1 block below from that specific material. And you'll notice that it will make these blocks in the back kind of turn into just front-facing logs instead of horizontal ones. That is fine. That is exactly what we want. The next thing we're going to do is get our treated wood and create beams going all the way down behind it, just like this. The next step is to get some gates, wooden gates, and again, these are very easy, very beginner level. You can just create these at a workbench and just kind of place them along the back, just like that. Now, the cool thing about these is they can be placed really anywhere. You can do them, above or below. Just really go unique and create something cool. Now, I am going to actually get rid of those. I just wanted to kind of give you guys the option and show you that you could do that. Now, this next step is actually really cool. It's my favorite part. If you don't know this block here, this plant matter block, I really suggest that you go explore your world. Chances are, if you do explore your world, you'll find this material everywhere. This is all over abandoned buildings, and it's just a really nice block to have incorporated with your design. And we're going to use it with this porch to kind of make it look like a gazebo, something that, it shields you from the sun using leaves, and it's going to really tie it in with nature and just bring out that life in the build. But before we do that, we're going to get our timber and just go along the top with the block, just like this, including on this little outside piece. This is just going to shield us from the rain whenever we are down in this area. The cool thing about plant fiber is that you can just kind of place it wherever you want, and it overall looks really nice. It never looks crazy, and it doesn't, ruin your build when you just have it all over the place, because it generally does look like what it's supposed to, just an overgrown mess, something that, when used in moderation, it can really tie it all together and make it look clean, but also, messy. It's kind of really hard to explain, but once you kind of get the perfect amount of it placed, it all just, everything just ties in so well together. It's seriously one of my favorite blocks, and I believe you can actually color it using flower petals. I'm pretty sure you can change the color that shows up there, but I may be wrong. But just basically place that until you're comfortable with the design. This is actually one I'm pretty comfortable with myself. I did say I wasn't going to do interior in this tutorial. I guess this isn't really considered interior. I think this actually adds on to the general design, though it is an interior block. One of the biggest problems with survival right off the bat is that you're going to be very limited on space. You're going to have a lot of workbenches and furnaces and other sorts of tools that help you create your tools for the journey, but you're going to really need a space to put them, and I really like making designated areas for those and styling them based on the tool. And in this case, the workbench. I think this porch is the perfect place to have it because it is outside, it's shielded by the sun, it's the perfect working area, and I think it just really ties it all together really well. Another thing that I am going to do is get rid of this grass because that doesn't really make sense to just have grass under there. But this is a really strong matter manipulator, so I'm going to try my best to get this right. And there we go. That is pretty much how you build a cabin. Overall, I think this design is extremely beautiful and just really ties in well with the beginner level world. But as the sun sets here, I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to see more of these, please let me know, and make sure to tune in for my episode of Starbound Survival Wednesday. All of this was built in kind of creative mode for Starbound. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, let me know. And if you do want an interior version, please let me know. I'd be happy to do it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching.